Hey guys, welcome back again in Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. We're doing something a little different. Today's video is, if you haven't already, should you play DC Universe online? Should you or should you not? Is it worth playing? If you're a big DC fan, should you give this game a try? Now, this game has been around for well over 10 years. I think it might actually be 12 or more. I could be wrong. I've been playing this game on and off for the past 8 years. And we're going to take a look at it, a modern look at it right now. Now, if you look further enough, if you look far back enough on YouTube, you can find walkthroughs for when the game officially launched, okay? When the game officially launched, they had a different kind of mission setup, storylines, games, especially multiplayer games. They evolve over time. We all know that. Now, when you start this game, it starts off in a slightly different direction than what it used to start off with. When I first played it many moons ago, we had a storyline that was centered around the villainous Brainiac. Now, if you're familiar with DC Comics, you know who Brainiac is. He is a major foe of Superman. He's an alien that goes from planet to planet and basically finds the greatest city on that planet and captures it. He miniaturizes it and places it in this big glass bottle that he then keeps on his ship. All the rest of the planet, he destroys and digitizes all the important databases, histories, information to retain it for all of time. Now, he has been traveling from Earth to Earth, or from world to world, I should say, sorry. And what he does is he comes to Earth ready to take it over. Well, it just so happens that when he finally arrives on Earth, guess what? The superheroes are no longer. Superman has been defeated in a massive battle thanks to Lex Luthor, and they've pretty much wiped out all the other heroes. So, fortunately, as soon as Lex Luthor defeats Superman, kills him, Brainiac arrives to take over the world. So that future Lex Luthor cowers around like a rat until he steals these digitized abilities. Because what Brainiac does is, like I said, he downloads the heroes and villains of that world and stores their abilities, their powers, in a digital formats for his record keeping. Well, Lex Luthor gets his hands on it, travels backwards in time to before this war between the villains and the heroes, and unleashes all these exabytes, this digitized skills and powers and abilities onto the world. So you, me, your cousin Bobby, they all get powers and skills. Not everyone on the planet becomes a hero or villain. They get, so you could probably about, I'd say, a good third, if not half the world maybe. So you have legions of heroes, you have legions of villains, all with abilities, going all over the world. And the main threat was to stop Brainiac from taking over Earth and bottling all the cities. Buildings around Metropolis and Gotham have been bottled up. Well, we no longer have that immediate mission storyline now. When you start out as a new character, which we're going to do today, you basically get set on a different path. So they kind of backpedaled the Brainiac storyline a little bit. You start off in one of Brainiac's harvester ships in a cell that's, you break free, and now you have to fight your way off that ship. Now, immediately after you get off the ship, you get missions. You get either indoctrinated into either the villains or the heroes. Justice League or the Legion of Doom, so to speak. So, the problem is, well, they no longer give us the missions where we immediately have to tackle on this Brainiac threat. You automatically get rolled onto the other side missions. It's almost as if the Brainiac threat is backpedaled tremendously. It's still there. You can see bottled planets. You can go, it's an open world, either in Metropolis or Gotham, but you can still see the Brainiac robots. You still have some of the missions to take on, but it's no longer the heart of the basis of the story, which to me kind of suffers a little bit. Now I'm going to show you guys the walkthrough. We're actually going to create a character This is actually Jolt 1015 is my oldest character. He's not that leveled up. He's at a 205. A lot. I mean, you have people who are above 305 right now. So I mean, he's pretty much one of my most powerful characters. I'm gonna find a character that I really don't care to. Let's get rid of. I can always recreate him another time. We're going to delete negative flash 1015. And I'm going to walk you guys through this. Goodbye, negative flash. So now we're going to create a character. Let's try this right now.
The greatest triumph was at hand. The final campaign in my long war.
Now we're going to let this video play. If you're watching this, you can always skip ahead.
Sending him into space.
Or you can watch this nice little cinematic intro. I mean, for about 10 or 12 years ago, this is a pretty good intro. And still holds up to today, I should say.
Real threat to Earth's true enemy.
Wonder Woman versus Metallo, of course. Green Lantern fighting Giganta.
Lantern! Pick on someone your own size!
Cyborg, concentrate fire on Luthor while I call down some artillery.
Kevin Conroy, the voice of animated Batman.
Deathstroke, time for you to join the party.
James Marsters, voice of Spike from Buffy, as Lex Luthor.
Come on! We've got lots of murdering to do.
And Mark Hamill from Star Wars, of course, and the voice of the Joker from the Batman animated series. We get a lot of pretty awesome voices in here, actually.
Lose something?
Greetings, sister.
This? Nobody kills the Bat but me!
Call him! Bring him to me! Madman! Adam! You don't deserve to live! Diana.
there you go. They filled her with kryptonite to weaken him.
Beaten by a mere man. No. You've lost everything. No. I beat you. Luthor!
And just like that, Superman's dead. And there's Brainiac and all his ships. Talk about bad timing, right?
Brainiac had returned. For years, he'd been stealing the powers of Earth's protectors, but we were too busy fighting amongst ourselves to see the danger. With you three dead, Brainiac quickly eliminated the remaining heroes. The lucky ones died fighting. Finally, I alone survived. A rat in the walls of the Brainiac construct. I have traveled through time to warn you. This is my past, but your future. And it means the end of humanity, so together, we must change it.
What have you done, Luthor?
Given you a fighting chance.
He's lying. It's some kind of trap. Why should we trust you?
Because if you don't, Earth is doomed. I've stolen Brainiac's exobytes and released them into Earth's atmosphere. They hold the powers stolen from the heroes and villains of my time and will bestow them on anyone they contact. The exobytes will create a new breed of superhuman to fight Brainiac's invasion. You must teach them to use their new abilities, for they must be on the front line in the coming battle, or my grim future will become your own. I only hope I am not too late, for I will not be here to see this new future. My work is not yet done. I must leave this Earth to you. Claim the exobytes and take destiny into your own hands.
It's identified. Select a gender and body
Okay,
type.
so here we are. Now we're at the character profile. You can choose male or female, medium, short, tall, or you can go for spry for sprites. You want to be a kid, be a real small kid,
Select exobyte download type.
or you can even go for a large,
Configuration or input
kind of a Hulk
using
or,
data from an Earth hero or
you know,
villain.
Fantastic Four's thing, or even
Select
just a stocky,
exobyte download
muscular, kind of beefy guy.
type. Custom
That's not really
configuration or
what I
input
usually go for. I either go
using
for
data
athletic
from
tall or athletic medium, so we'll go by that.
Exobyte
They do have some templates that you can
Select
start
a
off
hero
with.
or villain morality.
This obviously is a generic based off of Batman, generic off of Superman, Catwoman, Luthor, Joker, Flash, and literally the list goes on and on and on and on. These are blanked out because I'm not currently subscribed. Now, while DCUO is free to play, guys, there are some problems here. Well, I shouldn't say problems, but it's a trend that is present on just about any online gaming platform you might be playing, where they want you on a subscription. They want you putting more money into their game. So if you subscribe to a monthly subscription, that means once, every month you're paying about $15. They give you $5 worth or 500 credits to use, which gets used up very quickly. It's $5 basically, it translates to. And that's used very quickly. They do give... The other things that you get are additional slots for if you want to have additional characters, because you can be hero or villain in here. Sometimes you might want to play both, okay? Also, with that monthly subscription, you get all these other powers and templates unlocked. Like you got Captain Atom, Major Force, Eclipso, the Spectre. You get the Red Lantern. You get a Red Lantern version of Guy Gardner, a Detonator, Sergeant Rock. Some of these are generic. Firestorm, Neutron, Mera, Ocean Master. These templates are not exclusive to just men or women, okay? Also, there are powers you can choose from that also would be unlocked. So we're going to go hero this time around. Cirrus. Now you can choose magic, meta, or tech. That doesn't alter what missions you'll be taking. Okay? What does alter or decides what missions you'll be taking are your mentors, whoever you choose. You can choose any power here. Now I'm going to go through each one. You got nature, which is also a healing power. Sorcery, again, it's a healing power. Mental is more of a controlling power. You can either do damage or help control or strategize, so to speak. Ice. You have your roles are either damage or tank. Same thing with fire. Gadgets, which means you rely heavily on technology. Light, which means you're a Green Lantern, or if you're a villain, you can be a Red Lantern. Electricity, which is a good favorite of mine. Earth power, so you can cause earthquakes, summon up rock formations, even little entities to help protect you. Now, one of my other favorites is Quantum. It's currently locked because I'm not currently paying for that reoccurring $14.99. Okay, and you don't have to. You can still play this game and level up. It's just going to take a little bit longer and may not be as convenient as it is for other people who are subscribing to it. I mean, when you think about it, $15 for a free-to-play game is not that much, considering most new games when they're coming out, we're paying $60 just for them. And then you're probably paying additional fees for, to unlock certain functions if you're subscribing or getting some kind of pass for that game. And plus the DLCs, let's be perfectly honest right there. So again, Quantum is manipulating space and time. So you can create gravity wells to cause damage to your foes. You can slow down time. You can even teleport from spot to spot. And it's one of the more, I don't want to say overpowered, but it's definitely more, if I play Quantum, I am dealing more damage than I do with most other powers, to be perfectly honest. We have Celestial, which again is a healing power and damage. It's more of like heavenly powers, okay? Think of Castiel from Supernatural, or think of maybe Lucifer from DC Comics. Something like that. There is also the Rage power, which is a Red Lantern. You could be hero or villain as a Red Lantern, actually. Munitions, so if you want to be a Rambo commando type with nothing but explosives, Gatling guns, machine guns, that's your guy. Atomic, where you're basically manipulating atomic fusion, nuclear powers to battle your foes, and also water. That's the most recent power that they gave to the game. So like Aquaman kind of manipulation of water. But for this one, I think we're just going to go with... let's see. Do we want to go light or electricity? Now, we chose electricity. You have flight, acrobatics, or super speed. Now, flight is basically your Superman, Wonder Woman. You can fly around. Okay. Now, acrobatics is like Batman. Okay. You can run. You can do flips, cartwheels, and you can climb up buildings. But also, with climbing up buildings, you can also use a grappler and zip line straight up. Now, there are secondary features on here as far as movement. With flight, you can fly at average speed, and then when you get up to a certain level, which is, I believe, past level 9, you get up to 10, and you spend that skill point, and now you can do super fast, super flight, okay, much faster flight. Same thing with the acrobatics. You can do a zip line and zip up a building real fast, like Batman does. Super speed, you can run fast, but then when you hit that secondary movement level, you can go even faster. And let me just say one thing I like about the speed is you can run across water, guys. How awesome is that? And I've always been a fan of the Flash, so that's why I kind of like that. You know what? I think we're going to go flight. And we're going to go back and we're going to change our power around.
From available data.
Yep, hard light.
Select movement mode.
Okay. We're going with flights. Now, you got different weapons you can choose from. There's a shield, so if you want to do like a Captain America thing, you can actually whip that shield out. You can fling it like a frisbee, and it'll come back to you. You can do a rifle, which is good because you can pretty much use it like a shotgun. You can shoot up in the air, causing explosions to happen where your enemies are. Brawling, where you're just fighting with your fists. Bow, like the Green Lantern. You can actually shoot a bunch of arrows at once. Dual pistols, so if you want to do a Deadpool style, you can do that. Martial arts, so you have bladed weapons in your hands. There's two-handed, whereas you have to use both hands to wield this weapon. You can do a hammer. There's a whole bunch of weapons you can actually use. Dual blades. Staff. One hand. So you can actually hold a sword in one hand or an axe, and the other hand is open to maybe shoot a blast or something. I like using hand blast personally.
Displaying exabyte
So now we got to go to
appearance options now
appearance.
available. Modify any category
Unfortunately, we have to go
of
through all
design.
this process before we can even start to play. I know starting a new character, it can be a little annoying, but there's a lot of customization on here. Just for giggles, we are going to make him look like someone not from the DC universe. Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of a running gag that you can make any cartoon character into a DC universe character. What do I mean by that? We're going to choose a very, very well-known character from, let's say, Marvel. Okay. So we're good with the body. Alright. You can choose different skins. You can make him aged. Changes. I mean, you can go with Asian descent. Person of African American descent. We can go glowing and we can change that glow. We can make him a lava person. Completely made of rock, and maybe you're using the earth power. Plants, like maybe a swamp thing kind of deal. Crystalline, so he's completely made of crystal. You can change that color as well. So maybe you have an ice character. Perfect look. Chrome, maybe he's living metal. T2, if you will. Kind of Doom Patrol looking robot. This one's cyborg, but take a look at that. Looks a little creepy and scary, doesn't it? Okay, we got the undead, so you can have the Walking Dead as a hero. Are you my mummy? Yeah, it's a shame we can't change the color of the bandages, but it is what it is, right? We could be a demon, reptile, leopard. These I just think look ridiculous. They look like really bad Thundercats, if you ask me. What does the fox say? So we got barbarian. So you have some tribal paints there. Tattooed, angry, old and angry, cheerful, like, hey, what's going on here? Wise, very aged. Or we can have a very youthful looking lantern, okay? Now it doesn't matter what our hero's going to look like because he's going to be fully covered, okay? We can change the hairstyle if we want. We can go facial hair. Now, let me show you guys this kind of... Where was it now? There's different hairstyles, kind of the Superman side part. You can do an afro. Pomp. I tend to do that one a lot. You do mohawk. There's a lot of different long hair. If you want a Thor style looking guy, you can have him with facial hair or without. There we go. Fringe. I mean, you can even do dreadlocks, flat top, cornrows, buzzed, bald. There's a lot of different things we can do here. Okay? You can even go kind of a Dragon Ball look. Let me see if I can get that up here. Yeah, so you can do kind of a Dragon Ball Z style, kind of crazy go-to Trunks kind of hair looking spiky thing you could do. It's a thing you could do. You don't have to. So we're just going to throw this on there for right now, because you're not going to see his hair. It doesn't matter. We can change the hair color. We can change the costume color. Now, since we're going Green Lantern style, I'm going to go with a green. We're going to go gray and black, and you still have another color that you can play around with here. So we're going to let that sit for right now. Now we're going to go for the costume. Okay? We're not going to worry about the eyes. There are different things you can do with the eyes. You can change the eye color. You can do whatever you want with it. You can see we can change the eye color right there. It's something you can play around with if you want. Okay? You can even change the complexion of his skin if you wanted to any color if you're choosing. One thing DCO is very good with is customization, which you'll see once I go through the costume. First, let's start off with the boots. There's a lot. They're biker style, cuffed if you want something more pirate-like or classic costume comic books. There's a lot of different things. You can make it so that it complements any kind of style you want. We got casual shoes, we got school shoes, we got loafers, we got business, we got biker, we got everything here, guys. So for this, we're actually going to go with biker. You guys have no idea what I'm going to go with. So we're going to go paramilitary because it's got this, it's not skin tight, but we got these pads, we got these extra side pouches which can be used for any kind of character you might think of. So now we're going to go to waist. Now these are just basic styles. There are hundreds of other styles you can actually get from the game itself. Okay? So we're going to go with this paramilitary style because it's going to work perfectly with what I'm doing, what kind of character I'm making. And I'm just making this for, let's be honest, shits and giggles right now, guys. Okay? This is not a tune I'm going to be using throughout the rest of my career on this game. This is just something I want to throw together to show you what kind of craziness you can go with. Okay? So now we're at the hands. Trying to see, do we want to go... I think we'll go biker style with that. Now, the back. Now you could do a cape, you can do short cape, wing birds, demon wings, robotic wings, split cape, tattered. Maybe you want a character who's been through hell and back. Paramilitary, you can have backpack, quiver for, that's what you hold the arrows in. You can just have a little kitty backpack. Or just do nothing. We're going to do nothing. So now we're at the chest. Now there are a lot of different styles to play with here, guys. I'm going with the Streak Slimline. Do you guys have a guess yet? Let me know. So now for the face, we're going for a full hood. Or should I say a full mask. There are different things we can go with as far as the face, head. There's different kinds of stuff we can play around with here. But we're not going to use any of those. Because our guy's going to be wearing a full mask. Do a bike helmet, biohunter. There's a lot of stuff we can play around with. Okay? Top hat, full cross, devil. So now we get to play with some colors. So, do you guys have an idea? Have an idea what he might look like? I wanted to add brown, so let me do that. Okay, I'm gonna have to lighten that up a little bit. In case you guys haven't figured it out yet, yes, I'm going with Deadpool. We're making Deadpool a Green Lantern. I know, I'm crazy. Never said I was sane. Trying to get more of a brown. With some of this, you kind of have to play around with. That's probably going to be as good as I'm going to get it right now. So yeah, we have Deadpool on DC Universe Online. Now, if I want to be funny, we could make his suit green, which we could.
Successful.
And we're going to start this off in the tutorial so you guys can kind of see how we start off. Now, honestly, my opinion is, with this game, is it really worth it? You have to ask yourself the kind of games you like to play. There are a lot of awesome missions on here, but ultimately, guys, it boils down to one thing.
Nexus of knowledge.
Are you a big DC fan?
I will capture and digitize.
If you're a big DC Comics fan, you're going to get this. You're going to love this. If you're a big DC Comics fan, you'll have fun with it. Do I see this existing, living another 5 or 6 years? Barely. I definitely think the well is drying up with new platform games like Marvel's Avengers came out last year, guys. And yes, it's had a lot of criticism on its mechanics, and also on its gameplay. Though the way it's constructed, from what I've been told, is not the greatest. Now, when you first started this game out, when it first came out, you escape a Brainiac ship, which you still do, but I skipped that part. You immediately go on a mission to take on more of Brainiac's forces to try and save the city. You don't do that anymore. They throw you right into a mission here. We got these little investigations. We click on that. It plays a little recording.
Everyone has different
As you collect those, if you notice the other dots right there, if you collect them, they will give, after you collect all of those pieces, might be 7 investigations, might be 12 or 14. However many you get, once you collect them all, you get a little item in return. Okay? And as you can see, there are little auras, like this character right here, the legendary Adamama has it. There's different wings you can get. And these little soda dispensers, this is where you would repair your gear and get sodas, which are pretty much your health power-ups. If your health is getting low, you can access that right away, and bam. Now here we have the mail. This is where you get your emails and some informations from some rewards from after your missions, but also you can actually, if you have another character, you can actually send yourself cash or items from another character that have not been used yet and mail it to the other character, or you can send gifts to your allies, to your friends, which is actually pretty cool. Now, it wants me to talk to the Oracle bot. Oracle is basically the good guy tech person who passes out missions and helps hook you up with allies. Now, if you're familiar with DC Comics, you know Oracle is actually Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Commissioner Gordon. But after she was paralyzed by a bullet thanks to the Joker, she became Oracle, so she could help fight and keep the world safe, but behind a computer. So this is a robot version of her. So they want us to talk to her.
Well, so to speak. Consider this League-friendly safe house a temporary place to repair your gear, check your mail, have a soda cola. Just don't wait too long before heading out the door. A lot of villains are taking advantage of the chaos Brainiac is causing to wreak their own havoc. And we need every kid we've got.
Yeah. When it comes to safe houses, every police station is a safe house for a hero, and every villain's safe house is a nightclub. So we're just going to go outside to the real world so you guys can see everything here. Now, this Dead Lantern, as I call him, he's a flying hero, so I'm going to show you guys how... Oh, no, we're in Gotham.
It's the easiest way to get across a
My
big
bad.
city. Try it out.
So we can fly. As you can see, we got the bat signal right there.
I understand you just destroyed a Brainiac harvester ship. Impressive. Let's see if you can handle hero.
You can
work
fly
on the
around, but
ground.
you can't fly super
The
fast like I
Scarecrow
mentioned
has escaped
before.
from
Not
Arkham
yet,
Asylum
anyways.
And is filling the East End with fear gas, ready to face your nightmares.
Now, unfortunately, you see that bridge ahead. You cannot fly across it over to Gotham. You just can't. See, this is part of the remnants of the original storylines here, where you would take on some of Brainiac's foes, or some of his minions, I should say. But this is no longer part of the main missions anymore. That, personally, I think sucks. I think them taking the Brainiac missions away was a complete step back in the most tremendous of ways. Also, you get to take on regular villains, regular criminals.
Can a guy catch a break?
And you can arrest them. That was one of the big things, was there was the Brainiac threat, but also while the Brainiac threat is going on, you have all these side missions, all these other missions going on in the world, because let's face it, a game, you can't just have one motivation, you have to have multiple motivations. Unfortunately, that is not the case with this. See, we got those Brainiac villains right there, we got his little henchbots, if you will. But you do have other things that you get to take on here. Now, since I'm in Gotham, that means Batman is my mentor. Which means the first thing I need to do is the first mission is a Scarecrow mission. I get to take on Scarecrow's thugs to try and save the city because Scarecrow is trying to basically spread his fear gas everywhere.
Night in Gotham. Scarecrow's gang has overrun the East End, pumping fear gas into the atmosphere. They're using an abandoned construction site to distribute fear gas foggers to the rest of Gotham. Shut them down before they panic the entire city.
Okay, so as we can see, now I can destroy tons of things, by the way. Now, since I'm only a level 4, I only have access to so many powers. Now, you can destroy a lot of public property. Watch. Now, some parked cars you can actually destroy. There are side missions you can take on. You can also fight up close. Some of this is very satisfying, but let's compare this to like Arkham Asylum. That's apples and oranges right there, guys. Arkham Asylum, it's like you're in a movie. This, not so much. Now, they did improve the graphics a little bit a couple years ago, but nothing's not intensely tremendous. Okay, they improved the quality of it, the rendering, if you will, but that's as much as they. I mean, you can't compare this to New World, or I haven't even played the Avengers game yet, but I mean, comparing this to a lot of the games you see on Xbox or PlayStation, this is one of the exobits. You can collect those and help modify your exobyte powers. Okay, there's my weapon powers. When I get skill points, I can add those to help improve my blaster ability. Same thing happens with other weapons. Okay, but I don't have access to those weapons because I don't have that type of weapon yet. Inventory. Your stats. It shows you everything here. So you definitely want to stay on top of that. You want to stay on top of your CR, your combat rating. Okay? This is your stabilizer section. This is where you can fortify your abilities, augment yourself, your base. I don't have a base yet, so I don't need to worry about that yet. Currency. How many points of various things do you have collected so far? Okay? That's pretty much it. Now, like I said, if you're a big DC fan, give this game a try. It's nice, fun. There's a lot of Easter eggs. You can see how you square off against villains like Two-Face, Joker. I mean, there's a lot of different villains in here. Same thing for the heroes. You could be a villain and take down Superman. Okay? You could team up with, Metallo to take down Superman, or work for Lex Luthor, work for the Joker, or even work for Circe, which is basically the evil variation of Wonder Woman. Okay? So if you're a big DC comic fan, I would say, yeah, give this game a try. It's going to be fun. You're going to have fun. And now, some of the missions seem to take forever. I will admit that. But when it comes down to it, if you are a casual comic book fan, if you know who Superman is, or you know who Batman is, you may enjoy this game. And like I said, I've been playing it for a long time, on and off, because every now and again, because you have to do a lot of farming. And there's a lot of missions in here. Honestly, if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to keep, you're trying to level up to people who are up to 300 and plus, it's going to take a while for you to do that. Not unless you're devoting a lot of personal time in order to do that. So it takes time to do that. And also, I mean, this is free to play, and there is a lot of paying on here. But you can't, and that's another thing. You can actually skip ahead. Let me show you guys. We're going to go to Marketplace. Now, Marketplace shows me I still have $51 in my Daybreak account. Monthly membership is $500. You can add cash on here, so you could throw, choose a dollar amount and throw it on there. You could do that. Okay, we're not doing that. Redeem. If you've redeemed certain collections or abilities or certain items, when you claim it or you've purchased it, it goes across your entire account. So as long as you have this account, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, okay, I have green energy blasters, so I'm going to claim them. Okay. I can buy membership, where basically I can open unlimited number of boxes. I have access to all the DLC packs, the downloadable content, such as all the powers, and a whole bunch of the episodes. Okay? We're not doing that today, but you can see some of the stuff. They do sales where you can get stuff. Now, if you do the monthly membership, you do get 15% off on a lot of the items when you're purchasing them. They do have different kits. You want to do Deluxe Cyborg Ally Pack, you can do that. Allies is something new that they've thrown in recently. You can do Suicide Squad, where you can get certain themed items for your uniform, or some Gotham City type items. All the powers. If you want to buy the powers separately, you can do that. These 3 powers I have because I purchased them individually when the game first came out. There are upgrades. If you want to change the power you have, or the type of weapon you have, or how you move. You want to not be a flyer anymore? You want to be a speedster? You can do that. Supplies. Allies. Like I said, there's different allies you can purchase. That's $2,000, so that equals the $20 you're spending. $20 to add that on, to add that ally. I'm not a big fan of that personally, but I know it can be argued that it's that way no matter where you are, no matter what game you're playing. There's going to be something. These are the base themes, okay? Base themes allow you to choose a different type of theme for your base once you get up to that level. Now, there are little disguises you can use. There's legends you can fight, because they do have basically a simulator where you can fight as Batman, or fight as, John Stewart Green Lantern, Joker, Luthor. There's a whole host of characters that you can fight as, okay? It's big on membership. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to purchase, you can skip ahead. You can skip ahead your levels. Here, I'm going to show you guys something. We're going to go to Switch Character. Okay? So we're going to go back to that character hub that you saw in the beginning. Okay? Now, I have the option. I could advance my character level. I'm at a 4. And hypothetically, if I wanted to, I could jump up to 290. 290, I can jump up. Now what that means is, I'll go from a level 4 to a level 30. Also, my CR, I will get equipment and supplies that will equal my my combat rating up to 290, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And that takes me up to episode 37. Now, they're well past episode 37, but that's the most that you can max your character out at one time. Now, if I wanted to do that, okay, that's $50. So, that's $50 you'd spend to level yourself up. And then if you want the extra slot points or the extra slots in your inventory, and you want to have, that reoccurring $5 or 500 credits a month, that's another 15 right there. So if you do that, which a lot of people do, you're talking 50. Now you're talking another 15. You're talking $65 you just spent right there just so you can play this game and play at the higher levels. I mean, that's more of an argument for pay to play. I mean, we get these games that are free, but they still have a pay to play element to them. That's a big downside to this. I mean, and it adds up, let's be honest. I've got my Blue Thunder. He's a speedster. That's we got Jolt. Yes, I got a little flying sled right behind me because last time I played him was back in Christmas. Kind of a Tron look. Quantum Man. Quinkai. I call him Quinkai because he was actually designed after Dragon Ball. But I have all this costume on him. And of course we have Dead Lantern. So if I were to do the subscription, it would open up extra slots. I could have extra slots then. But there we are. If you're asking me, should you pay to play? That's up to you. If you're a big DC Universe fan, try the free-to-play option first. You will get very far without paying. You will. It's just that you'll be missing out on a lot of the loot boxes that they have. They call them Prometheum cases. You'll miss out on all the loot crates that will drop throughout the game. You'll still get prizes, you'll still get armor, you'll still get pieces to basically to level up with, but you'll get those from the missions, you'll get those from the raids, you'll get them from the duos, because there are duo missions. You get to do single missions, you get duo missions so you can team up with someone. You can join 4-person squads or even do an 8-person raid. You can still get items from that, but basically you're doing greed versus need versus, I mean, if you've played video games before, you're familiar with that. So that's a big issue here, guys. That is a tremendous issue, is that basically if you want to do well in a lot of these games, you're having to either spend your time to try and build yourself up, and there are some very awesome missions. There's a lot of missions you get to take on Grodd. There's Gorilla Grodd. You get to take on the Reverse Flash, Dr. Zoom, Lex Luthor, I mean, the Joker, I mean, the list goes on. Two-Face, Bane, you name it, you face them. But the problem is, do you want to spend time on it? And it's going to take a lot of time for you to get to those levels. As you saw, this video is already at 52 minutes. No pun intended, exactly 52 minutes. But it's going to take time for you to get to the missions. You're probably talking maybe 3 hours to get to level 10. Maybe about 2.5 hours, 2 hours maybe. I mean, it's going to take you a long time to level up in all the missions. You got the side missions, the investigations. It's an enjoyable game, but comparing it to a lot of the newer games that are coming out today, you're going to be hard-pressed to, because let's be honest, you're looking for the graphics. You want the graphics, you want that cinematic feel, and unfortunately, you don't get that with this. I mean, it's a step over, it's definitely a step above a mobile game, that's for sure, as far as a mobile combat game. It's basically Mortal Kombat with storylines almost. Okay? There's a lot of custom. I've seen people do Thor. I've seen people do so many different characters. It's not even funny. I mean, you could fight in a suit if you wanted to, which kind of looks funny. The thing is, when they upgraded this, they upgraded the renderings. Okay? They upgraded the renderings, but they did not upgrade the faces. The faces are very generic looking. Okay? It'd be great if they did an upgrade to the faces. Maybe if they gave us some of the Brainiac missions again. Or they're always expanding. Every two or so months, they're giving us new content, new episodes. They have annual content that we get to take on. Like for Halloween, we're going to be having, usually there's a little Halloween mission. There's a Christmas and spring mission. There's a mission in the summertime for the most part. They do Anti-Monitor. If you're familiar with that, there's a lot of annuals that they do throughout the year to keep everything fresh. But how are you going to have a game that starts off with Brainiac as a major threat, and then you hardly ever interact with Brainiac? They've introduced the multiverse, the anti-universe, all the different factions of the Lantern Corps out there. They've done all of that. But unfortunately, it still comes up short. I mean, when you have Star Wars Battlefront 2 out, the intensity, the cinematic feel to it, the first-person shooter type vibe of it, you get more out of that, more of that cinematic look through that than you do with a game like this. I know, again, it's apples and oranges, but that's what it boils down to. What do you want to do? Are you a DC fan? If you're not a DC fan, could you get some fun out of this? Sure. It's a better version of City of Champions if you ever played that. As far as the scaling, as far as the cinematic look to it, I mean, this is basically you're playing your comic books. That's what this is right now. Personally, if I was someone just getting into it, learning about the pay-to-play, I mean, that's always a big thing with me because let's face it, not everyone has $70, $80 to drop at the beginning of a new game. I mean, you might have spent $50 or $60 just to get that game in some cases for consoles. And by the way, this game is on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. But when it boils down to it, this is already, I think, a 10 or 12-year-old game. It's already been around for a long time. I don't know how much longer it'll be around. I mean, I would love to say, hey, it's going to be here for another 10 years, but I can't honestly say that because the only major upgrades they've done, they've made restructuring to the mechanics. They've been adding powers over the past couple of years, but aside from the rendering and the slight upgraded graphics, it's still the same game, just with a newer lens on it, okay? It's like if I took these lenses out, put a new lens in it, these are still the same frames, they're still the same glasses. You don't see that much of an improvement over it and over the gameplay, okay? So, hey, this is currently available on, you can go directly to Daybreak's website, or just type in DCUO and look it up through Google. But you can also go ahead and get this through Steam. It's a free download. You just have to download it first, install it. You do have to make some setting changes on here once you first get in there, but there it is. It is a free game. You want to try it out for a few levels. It's not going to cost you anything except your time. If you think you like it, go ahead and rock through it. If you feel you have to pay to play, that's your choice, guys. So there we are. DCUO in 2021, October of 2021. Those are my thoughts. I am a DC fan. I've been playing this for a very long time. Like I said, I actually uninstall it and reinstall it maybe 2 times a year, maybe just to play a little bit of it. It's kind of that way with a lot of games, like Star Trek Online. Every 4 or 5, maybe 6 months, I'll reinstall it onto the computer and play it a little bit. Just to see what the new improvements are, to see if there are any new improvements. Have they fixed the mechanics? A little bit better graphics? What's the quality on it? So there we are. So those are my thoughts. Should you play DC Universe Online? Download it, check it out yourself, or skip it and move on to the next one, guys. So there we are. Until next time, guys, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I will always catch you on the flip side.